If you look at India's global trade footprint, one state does the heavy lifting. Gujarat commands the longest coastline in the country and handles a staggering 40% of India's entire port cargo. It also dominates hyper-niche markets. Of all the diamonds sold in New York, London, or Dubai, 9 out of 10 are polished right here by a massive, highly specialized workforce in Surat. And to power all of this, they are building out massive energy infrastructure, like the Kavda Renewable Energy Park, designed to output 30 gigawatts, more capacity than several European nations combined. But raw industrial output eventually hits a limit. To move into the same tier as global hubs like Singapore or Dubai, a region has to solve the logistical frictions that eventually cause a high-growth economy to see diminishing returns. This $70 to $75 billion master plan treats dozens of independent megaprojects as one synchronized circulatory system, with every major component being built and upgraded simultaneously. The strategy shifts the focus from building individual factories to creating an integrated environment where different infrastructure layers are designed to multiply each other's value. The system starts at the edges, the global input and output nodes. Gujarat is injecting tens of thousands of crores into upgrading major seaports like Mundra, Kandla, and Pipavav with new container terminals and smart logistics systems. But pulling in that much global sea cargo creates a massive secondary wave of corporate and logistical air traffic. Right now, that volume is actively pressing against the capacity limits of the main international airport in Ahmedabad. To absorb this, they are building the 3,000-crore Dholera Greenfield International Airport. It is designed with an enormous land footprint, specifically reserved to handle future industrial logistics, massive cargo freighters, and passenger overflow. Expanding these global gateways only works if the materials can actually move inland. A massive port will instantly choke if it lacks the internal arteries to drain that throughput into the mainland. This is where the transport networks step in, starting with the Western Dedicated Freight Corridor. This diagram illustrates the core logic. By physically separating heavy, slow-moving cargo trains onto their own tracks, away from passenger rail, both logistics costs and transit times drop sharply. Alongside the rail, massive roadway expansions are cutting across the state. The Gujarat stretch of the Delhi-Mumbai Expressway and the new Namo Shakti Expressway provide direct, ultra-fast links from northern India straight down to Saurashtra's seaports. For corporate talent, the state is integrating India's first high-speed bullet train. This line connects Ahmedabad directly to India's financial capital, Mumbai, shrinking the travel time to just 2 to 3 hours. These fast-flowing arteries generate a compounding economic advantage. Factories in the interior can increase their output simply because they now have the infrastructure to ship goods faster and cheaper than neighboring regions. Those arteries lead directly to the economic engines of the state, entirely new, purpose-built cities. Dholera City is being constructed from scratch as a tech-driven greenfield hub, and it has already secured India's first Tata semiconductor plant. While Dholera focuses on advanced manufacturing, GIFT City is engineered to be India's global financial nerve center. The presence of international institutions proves these hubs are actively pulling in global corporate capital. Instead of retrofitting old infrastructure, these cities have digital governance, automated waste management, and IoT-enabled utilities baked directly into their concrete foundations. These are highly specialized processing engines. They are designed to efficiently ingest and multiply the massive flow of talent and raw materials delivered by the high-speed arteries. But an ecosystem of this size requires extreme stability at the local level. In urban centers like Ahmedabad, Surat, and Vadodara, aggressive metro network expansions are being rolled out to ensure millions of daily commuters can actually get to work. Outside the cities, the 12,000 crore Sauni scheme is pumping water from the Narmada River through massive canal networks, bringing long-term water security to the historically dry agricultural zones of Saurashtra. At the grassroots level, another 15,000 crore is being invested in the Smart Villages initiative to secure 100% electrification, paved rural roads, and digital connectivity for local populations. This local infrastructure is the friction point of the entire system. Without reliable water or functional transit, the workforce supporting these global exports reaches a capacity limit, regardless of how many new ports or airports are built. To guarantee interconnected systems are functional, the state has a hard deadline, the 2026 Commonwealth Games. Preparing for a massive global event forces local governments to execute master plans on a strict timeline. Between sports facilities, city beautification, and sweeping walkability upgrades, roughly 25 to 30,000 crore is being injected directly into the host cities, leaving behind highly livable urban spaces long after the games end. This map illustrates the full $70 billion machine. Massive port gateways handle the global input, feeding heavy freight and high-speed passenger arteries. Those arteries supply the smart city hubs, and the entire structure is supported by a healthy rural capillary network. Gujarat's transition suggests that economic evolution is a coordination problem. By assembling an entire $70 billion ecosystem at once, they are building a prototype for how a state can leapfrog its own industrial limits and move into the global top tier.